Well, I'm Alan Dale from Gale Force Winds, and welcome to the Maritime Arctic Safety and Security 2026 show. And I tell you, what a show it has been. The conversations are unbelievable. Thank you to our good friends at the Atlantic Canadian Aerospace and Defence Association for bringing this beautiful show to St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. I want to tell you, it has been a wonderful series of conversations. And on conversations, thank you to our good friends at Calian. Calian know the importance of bringing all these conversations alive, and especially right now, Calian gets it, and thank you to them. And on that note, why don't you introduce yourself, sir, and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Thanks, Alan. Michael Sangster. My day job is the CEO of the National Association of Career Colleges, which you and your partner, Jerry, know well. You've done a lot of great work for us across the country telling stories, but as of last week, I'm now the honorary captain of the HMCS St. John's, so I'm here today to greet my ship. Really looking forward to meeting the captain later today. I've been out on it for a sail before, but incredibly honored that the Navy's and the Minister of Defense have asked me to take on this role. What
an absolute privilege it is for you and for us to have you on this conversation.
Day one.
Day one. This is incredible. So, Captain, talk to me about where you see your role going. What do you hope to provide the Canadian Navy?
Number one is promotion. Just opening up the doors for people. They're opening their eyes, having the opportunity to understand about the careers in the Navy, being in the career education business, knowing that there's an opportunity for these long-standing, stable careers for people, men and women in this country, to go serve in the Navy. They have no idea. We did a podcast series this year. It was called Sea of Opportunities, SEA. And we interviewed the crew of the St. John's as they were headed over to an operation in the Mediterranean. And as they transited over to Europe, we interviewed 19 people on board about their careers and their jobs and their roles, and they have multiple careers. It was so interesting in these little 7-minute interviews to get to know them and understand their future, their career, why they're serving the nation. Because they're serving the nation, but they're getting incredible, exciting careers and getting incredible career opportunities. Incredible education opportunities from the Navy, from the Armed Forces, to go in and for them and their families to really become more astute people in the jobs they're taking on.
So you got to meet a number of the sailors on your own ship.
Yes.
You got to meet a number of these sailors, hear a little bit about their lives, hear about what they do. How does it feel now to be representing that ship and those crew members?
It's an incredible honor. I was mentioning to some people this morning, I feel like an imposter today in uniform. Doesn't feel right yet. And I hope to earn the right to have worn this in 3 years. When this term is done, it's a 3-year appointment, which can be renewed. I hope at the end, the men and women of the HMCS St. John's and the men and women of the Navy think I helped in a small way. Did something that helped the organization, helped the ship. So we're going to find little ways to help them. We're going to work with the captain, morale, mentoring, anything we can do, bringing my members to the table too, to talk to them about what are their interests, what are their needs. And I was talking to Nick Nanos, one of the other honorary captains, is a friend of mine. He said they might need a popcorn machine on board. They may need something that just gives them a little bit of a moment, a chance to have some fun too. So we're going to see what we can do to help out.
Yeah, I mean, Captain, you come from a background, you're a very connected guy across this country and globally. You have an ability to hold conversations with people that maybe the Navy can't really get into those conversations, and you can quarterback them in there. There's little doubt that what you see in the Navy, and I know that you feel it, they see it in you too. They wouldn't have put this on you. So you're no way an imposter here. They see something in you, and they want to sort of to make that perfect collision there, which is just wonderful. Talk to me about now. Do you have an event tonight on board the ship?
The MASS conference is having an event on the HMCS St. John's, so we're going to head over in a little while and get ready and check out and meet the crew, spend a bit of time with them, get to know them a little better. I did go out on a 3-day cruise with them last year, and then went out for 4 days with the William Hall with some other community leaders, and to see the pride that they took. I never had to stop anybody ask them what their job was. They would stop us and they would talk to us and they said, this is what we're doing. This is what this is. And it was an incredible experience. I'm really looking forward to seeing what I can get to know. I've already advanced my knowledge so farly about the kinds of careers that are on board the ship. So before I move on, I got to thank you and Jerry for your own service too. Both of you have both served our nation, and we greatly respect that. And I know Canadians appreciate that.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. It is both our pleasure to have done that. So, Michael, You're here at the MASS conference. This is a wonderful conference held every year in Newfoundland. This year it's the biggest one they've ever had.
Yeah.
And an association, the Aerospace Defense, ACATA, they have pulled all of this together. You too run an association, so you know how much work is involved in pulling off a show like this.
Yep.
Talk to me about what they've done here.
It's not easy, and I used to be involved with PAL Aerospace here in Newfoundland.
Right.
So I used to come to MASS for PAL, so I actually have the chance to see the difference that is of this event now and the quality of people who are walking around. Saw Peter McKay walking through, talked to Seamus O'Regan this morning. These things take a lot of work. As soon as you close the doors, you start planning for next year to make sure that there's good content. And the Prime Minister and the Minister of Defence have changed the game for defence in Canada with the investments that are going on. So these conversations, and I absolutely love the way they're looking at spending money in Canada and making sure we're all aware of the way that the system used to work, and there were offsets, and there are other ways to make sure Canadian companies, but it seems to me like it's now the main procurement company should be Canadian, and maybe subcontractors from somewhere else. There's just a change in mindset, and with this influx in investment, these industries are going to flourish. I notice you're on the PEI advisory panel for the government on these issues. They're big, important issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Captain, it's an absolute pleasure to have you in the conversations, an absolute pleasure to have you in uniform. There's little doubt that the Navy is going to get as much from you as you are already getting from the Navy.
I hope so. I want to finish on just my thanks to the Navy for giving me this opportunity, but also to you, because this was all put together quickly for me to be here with the ship. I'm wearing Alan's shoes today. He had a pair of size 9 whites, so I could borrow them because they didn't have any in stores. So a little bit of story between two friends. We greatly appreciate the work you've done with our group. And I know ACATA does as well, talking to the team there about the stuff that you're doing to make sure these stories get told. Yeah. Maybe I can play a small role telling the sailor story. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Canada's newest honorary captain, Michael Sangster. Pleasure to have you on board. Thanks.
Thanks, Alan.